Monique did not have to die. I didn't have to throw her out like she was garbage either. My baby was so precious to me.
On December 29th, Monique, a real estate agent, got a surprise call from a woman who wanted to see a house for sale. She didn't realize that this would put her in grave danger, risk her life, and deeply upset her family and friends. The call seemed harmless, but it quickly became clear that it led Monique into the final hours of her life. Today, we traveled to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to report on a mother of two and real estate agent who was tricked into a fake house showing, then kidnapped and killed brutally. We want to offer our deepest sympathy to the family and friends of Monique Ball and everyone mourning this tragic loss. Minneapolis, Minnesota, is a lively city famous for its great art scene, beautiful parks, and natural surroundings, with the Mississippi River running through it. The city is proud of its excellent places like the Walker Arts Center and Guthrie Theater, and its big network of lakes and trails, making it perfect for outdoor lovers. Minneapolis also has the Mall of America, one of the biggest shopping centers in the world, and its busy downtown area has many different restaurants, music spots, and a growing tech sector. However, recently, Minneapolis has seen more crime, especially violent crimes like assaults and shootings. Despite efforts to fix these issues, crime is still a worry for people living in and visiting the city. In this vibrant city, we find Monique Ball and her family. Born in Minneapolis, Monique was raised in a caring family. Known for her bright smile and lively personality, she could light up any room she entered. She had a close relationship with her cousin Charles Sinkfield, and they were so close that their family often called them Thelma and Louise. Charles remembers Monique as a positive and energetic person, whose happiness was catching. Monique did well in school and followed her love for real estate, becoming a top agent in the Twin Cities. Her co-workers admired her hard work and professionalism, often praising her drive and success in her field. Monique Ball met John Mitchell Momo, an upcoming rapper, through friends in the Minneapolis music scene. They quickly connected and started dating. Despite their different jobs, with Monique as a successful real estate agent and John focused on his music career, they deeply loved and committed to each other. As their love grew, Monique and John had two beautiful daughters. The family of four was very close, with Monique lovingly caring for her children and John being a supportive partner. They treasured their time together, building memories that would last a lifetime.
Some of you know, but for those of you who don't, I am in real estate and I feel truly blessed. My boyfriend and I couldn't get enough of our two girls. John Momo is the father of Monique's two children. Momo is a rapper. He's done a lot of songs with major artists, Nipsey Hussle.
Monique's cousin, Charles Sinkfield, loved seeing how strong Monique and John's relationship was. She saw their bond as unique and solid, appreciating how they supported each other's goals and helped each other succeed. Monique's bright smile and lively personality matched well with John's ambition and energy. The family enjoyed life's simple joys, from outings to relaxing at home. Monique's commitment to her family and her deep love for John showed her true nature and the strength of their bond. Though everything seemed perfect, they faced challenges, one of which led to a heartbreaking incident on December 29, 2019. Monique Ball's phone rang, and the voicemail was from a woman named Lisa Pulowski. Lisa sounded calm and professional as she inquired about viewing a house in Maple Grove, Minnesota. Monique thought it was a bit strange because her clients usually contacted her through the real estate company, but this woman reached out directly. Known for her commitment and love for real estate, Monique quickly returned the call, ready to help. Lisa mentioned she was eager to buy a property and needed to set up a viewing soon. Monique, always willing to assist, offered sometimes they could meet, and they agreed on December 30th at 11 a.m. Monique had no clue that this simple call would start a series of events that would turn her and her family's lives upside down. The woman calling wasn't actually looking to buy a house. She was involved in a sinister scheme designed to trap Monique. The caller, whose real name was Elsa Sura, was not acting alone. She was collaborating with Lyndon Wiggins, Cedric Barry, and Barry Davis, all entangled in a complex plot linked to a dispute over a music label with Monique's boyfriend, John Mitchell Momo. As Monique got ready for the viewing, Completely unaware of the danger awaiting her, the plotters activated their grim plan. They made sure the location was set up perfectly for Monique's arrival, preparing to ensnare her. On December 31, 2019, Monique left early for the Maple Grove house after getting ready for her family's New Year's Eve celebration, expecting to meet a potential buyer. Unbeknownst to her, two men were hiding, waiting to attack. One of them pounced on her, overpowering her onto the tiled floor, and they quickly bound her hands and mouth with tape. Security cameras recorded the moment they ambushed her.
But no potential homebuyer showed up. Instead, it was a ruse. Two kidnappers forced Monique into the back of a U-Haul truck.
For 2 excruciating hours, Monique was trapped in the back of the truck as it drove around Minneapolis. Consumed by fear and trying to piece together what was happening, she didn't know if she would survive. The men who kidnapped her were ruthless, involved in a deadly plot related to a feud with John. At one point, Monique feared for her life, thinking they might kill her right then, but the captors had other intentions. Shoving her into the back of a U-Haul truck. What should have been a normal workday turned into a horrifying ordeal. They drove for about 6 hours to Monique's family's house, with her still in the back of the truck. At around 5:30 p.m., police were called to a shooting at John Mitchell Momo's home on Homebuyer Avenue in Minneapolis, where he and his 2 young daughters were inside. John, Monique's boyfriend, had been shot multiple times by a masked gunman who got in with a key from Monique. Despite being injured, John managed to shout at the gunman and gave vital information to the police, worried about his children's safety.
I went to work as usual. When I got off, I see that I had a text from my neighbor. I called him right away, and he says, a guy got shot at your house. And I said, no. And I said, where's my daughter? And he says, I don't know. When I showed up, Momo was shot multiple times.
Wanda Ball, Monique's mother, was at work when her neighbor kept calling and texting her. She was too busy to check her phone, but when she did, she was shocked by what she saw. She feared it might be true and knew she had to hurry. She rushed to John's apartment, where she found that the police were already there but unattended. Her daughter and John were not in the house, but her 2 grandchildren were safe. Wanda and the police were confused until one officer found a single door key on the floor. It looked like the house key. Wanda checked and confirmed it was Monique's, making it clear that the gunman knew Monique's location at that time. It was evident that Monique's part in this tragic situation was to provide the key needed to reach John. Upon realizing this, Wanda was overcome with fear and urgency. She knew about the rising tensions from John's role in the music industry and the associated risks. The situation was even more critical because John and Monique had 2 young daughters, increasing the stakes for Wanda, who was very concerned about her grandchildren's safety. After the attack, Wanda quickly acted to protect her family. She contacted the police to better understand what had happened and to get advice on how to keep her daughter and grandchildren safe. After the attack on John, and with the police's help, they started to track down the attackers since Monique was still missing, and John was in the hospital. About an hour later, a gunshot detection system alerted the authorities to an alley on the 1300 block of Russell Avenue North, where they found Monique's body, her hands taped and shot multiple times, including directly in the face. Monique was rushed to North Memorial Medical Center but was declared dead soon after. During this time, John was too injured to speak. Once he could talk, the police told him the devastating news. One can only imagine how John felt upon learning that the mother of his children was dead.
I cried so many tears, I don't even got no more to give. I got hit 3 times down here in my leg. I got hit right here, a bullet right here.
The discovery of Monique's body shocked the community. Monique was a vibrant, dedicated real estate agent and mother who had been savagely killed. The police responded immediately, finding Monique with numerous gunshot wounds in a shockingly violent act. The area was quickly cordoned off as police gathered evidence and started an extensive investigation. Forensic teams meticulously examined the scene, collecting shell casings, possible DNA, and any clues to help solve this horrific crime. The community was stunned as news of Monique's murder spread, leaving her friends and family in shock and profound sorrow. As the investigation progressed, surveillance video became vital. It showed Monique being forced into the U-Haul by 2 men, capturing the critical moment of her abduction. This footage allowed the police to establish a sequence of events, gradually exposing the grim plot behind the crime. The investigation quickly connected the kidnapping and murder to a larger conspiracy involving John and a dispute over a music label. This revenge plot spiraled out of control, destroying innocent lives. John was caught in a dangerous conflict with Lyndon Wiggins, who was involved in both the music industry and drug trafficking. The issue started over a disagreement on a record label contract and was exacerbated by Wiggins's suspicion that John had informed the police about his drug activities, leading to his arrest. The situation intensified when, on December 16, Wiggins uploaded a video of himself counting a large amount of money and put some of it in a dryer, believed to be Wanda's, to highlight the amount. Wiggins and his associates thought the money was a reward for John's supposed betrayal. His public display of the money on social media indicated a blatant disregard for the consequences. This heightened the tensions, pushing them towards violence. Following these tragic events, John faced accusations on social media, with some blaming him for Monique's death due to his drug involvement and lifestyle. Despite the criticism, John firmly denied any connection with the suspects, including Cedric Barry, stating, "I've never seen that Cedric dude in my life." As he grieved for Monique, John wanted to clear his name and shared how deeply the situation had affected him emotionally. In response to Monique's murder, law enforcement quickly arrested several people linked to the plot. The primary suspects were Elsa Sura, a former probation officer who supposedly set up the deceptive home showing, Lyndon Wiggins, believed to be the architect of the scheme, and Cedric Barry and Barry Davis, the men alleged to have executed the kidnapping and murder. They were charged with severe offenses, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and kidnapping. The prosecutors argued that the crime stemmed from a conflict over a music label and accusations of drug-related dealings involving John Mitchell Momo, Monique's boyfriend. Monique's death was unnecessary, and treating her as if she were worthless was unforgivable. "She was immensely precious to me and to everyone who loved her. How could they have done such a thing?" During the trial of Cedric Barry and Barry Davis in June 2021, the prosecution brought forth critical evidence, including surveillance videos capturing moments before Monique's kidnapping, testimonies from witnesses like John Mitchell Momo, who had narrowly escaped an attack earlier that day, and forensic reports showing Monique had been fatally shot multiple times at close range. Both men were convicted of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and kidnapping and were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. At the sentencing, Barry showed regret, commenting that he was facing a life sentence for mere fingerprints identified as his. He expressed a hope that this would bring some relief, though he believed true justice had not been achieved. Elsa Sura's trial occurred afterward, with prosecutors arguing she significantly contributed to the crime by using a burner phone to organize a deceptive house showing under the alias Lisa Pulowski, intending to trap Monique. Her defense argued that she was unaware of her fellow conspirators' violent plans, claiming her actions did not indicate a wish to harm Monique. Nevertheless, the jury convicted Sura of aiding and abetting in first-degree murder, attempted murder, and kidnapping, leading to a life sentence for her as well. However, a startling turn of events unfolded in February 2024. The Minnesota Supreme Court overturned Elsa Sura's conviction, shocking and deeply upsetting Monique Ball's family. The court ruled that there was insufficient direct evidence of Sura's intent to participate in the kidnapping and murder. They also highlighted flawed jury instructions that led to her conviction based on the actions of her co-conspirators, without clear proof of her personal involvement. For Monique's family, the court's decision reopened deep wounds. Charel Sinkfield, Monique's cousin, shared how profoundly the ruling had impacted them, leaving them all feeling exposed and powerless.
And I can speak confidently on the behalf of my entire family. It does not get easier, even though the time goes by. The years go by. It doesn't get easier because we, every moment, think about her. She's in our living rooms, on our walls, and we think about her day in and day out.
Now, with Sura facing a retrial, Monique's family is steeling themselves for another demanding series of legal challenges. Despite this obstacle, they firmly believe that everyone involved in Monique's murder must be held accountable. They hold on to hope, praying that this time justice will be served, and that the reversal of Sura's conviction won't tarnish Monique's memory. Over the years, Monique's family has endured profound grief. Each step in the legal process has painfully reminded them of the daughter, cousin, and mother they lost. Wanda Williams B.A., Monique's mother, has been a pillar of strength in every court appearance, voicing her daughter's story. Her victim impact statements, delivered with a shaking voice, have conveyed the profound impact Monique's death has had on her family. Wanda's devastation at Sura's initial release was overwhelming. Facing the retrial feels like undergoing the tragedy all over again, yet she remains committed to achieving justice for Monique. The fight for justice has transformed the family into advocates for other victims of violence. They have utilized their platform to heighten awareness of domestic violence, participating in community events and sharing Monique's story through interviews. Their relentless efforts aim to ensure that Monique's legacy endures and that similar tragedies are prevented, offering some solace to other grieving families. Throughout this ordeal, the local community has stood by Monique's family, showing immense support. Vigils were organized in Monique's memory, where friends, neighbors, and even strangers came together to mourn and light candles in her honor. These gatherings became poignant symbols of unity, demonstrating how deeply Monique's tragic death affected many and ignited a call for societal change. Despite facing further legal challenges, Monique's family remains motivated by their love for her, the deep loss they've endured, and a steadfast belief that justice will ultimately be served. They continue to advocate not only for Monique but for all victims of violence, hoping their experience can drive meaningful systemic reform. Each time they share Monique's story, it casts light on the grim realities of domestic violence. Although the path ahead is daunting, the family's dedication to ensuring her death leads to change remains unshakable. The upcoming retrials are expected to bring renewed attention to the case, fostering hope among her loved ones that the justice Monique truly deserved will at last be achieved. John, known as JN, was profoundly affected, believing he could have prevented the tragedy. He thought keeping certain secrets would protect Monique and their daughters, preserving a normal, safe life for them. Unfortunately, this protective measure backfired disastrously. The secrets he kept became a catalyst for the tragedy, and his lack of openness left Monique unaware and defenseless against the dangers she faced. In a harsh twist of fate, John's attempts to protect his family from the difficult realities of his world instead isolated them, making them more vulnerable to those seeking vengeance. Ultimately, the responsibility lies not only with the individuals directly involved in Monique's murder but also with a justice system that too frequently fails to protect the innocent and deliver rightful justice. As Monique's family continues to push forward, a pressing question lingers. How many more families must suffer before our justice system adequately protects those it is meant to serve? What are your thoughts on what could have been done to prevent this tragedy? Thank you once again for tuning in. If you appreciate our storytelling or have gained new insights today, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. Your thoughts are welcome in the comments section below.